Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Vesper. So I have a very quick Street Fighter V news update, but even though it's a quick one, it's a big one. So it looks like Capcom is pulling the trigger here. The offline tournament for Capcom Cup 2020 has been canceled. Capcom announced this last night on their Twitter, or yesterday, and this includes the Street Fighter League World Championship has also been canceled, the offline versions. I mean, it was too good to be true that we'd start off the year strong with an offline tournament, but if things have escalated in the world, obviously, with the current pandemic situation, and I think Capcom was just not confident on running this without a hitch. Too much at risk here, especially if any of the attendees or competitors contracted the virus. That would suck. Capcom took a lot of precautions. Looks like they were, it looked very strict when we were reading through all the rules and precautions taking place. But it looks like it's just too risky. Maybe someone from the higher up decided no. And yeah, it was supposed to take place in the Dominican Republic, which would have been an awesome location. Of course, there were no spectators allowed. There's could be other things too, logistical problems, like maybe certain flights would be canceled or certain borders you cannot leave. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what happened, but that's Capcom just says it's just straight up canceled. Instead, there's going to be an online version of Capcom Cup. That's right. We're going to run the World Tournament online in Street Fighter V, as in Street Fighter V Online. So, I mean, there's a lot to talk about with that, but first let me read a quote off from Capcom, and it says, and I quote, "In its place, we'll be producing an online-only season final so that we are still able to highlight the best players from the season. All players who won an online premiere will be invited to participate in the final, and we are in the process of reaching out to all eligible players to secure their participation. Details on the revised format will be available on CapcomProTour.com in the next few weeks." So obviously this is a huge disappointment for us as spectators, but definitely a giant disappointment to the competitors who have been, went through the madness that is Street Fighter Online all year, finally qualified, and there's, a light at the end of the tunnel, but now they are forced to play in an online format, and as we know, the Street Fighter V netcode is simply not capable of handling an online tournament of this scale. I mean, to be frank though, I know a lot of people want to give Street Fighter V online flack, and Capcom has trying to do some changes recently, but not big enough. But honestly, how are you supposed to run a world online fighting game tournament? Like, it doesn't matter if your netcode is godlike. If you're playing people overseas, there's gonna be like it's just there's gonna be lag, man. It doesn't matter if the netcode is perfect. I don't think it's feasible. I mean, what, like, unless the game is Hearthstone, how are how are people from Japan are gonna play people from NA? Like it's just not feasible. It doesn't matter how good the netcode is. So people are thinking maybe Capcom will fix the netcode before the tournament. I don't even think it will help. It wouldn't make any sense. And how good can you make it? It's not possible with our current infrastructure. It's not possible. I mean, it would improve the tournament. That's definitely for sure. But is it even worth it at this point to fix Street Fighter V's netcode? I mean, unless they're planning to have Street Fighter V, chill for 2 more years, then I suppose it'd be worth it. But for just this tournament, I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna make it work, honestly. Unless they're gonna, terraform an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I don't know how these players are gonna play each other. I think it's virtually impossible for everyone all over the world to compete. I think they might break it up into regions, and we'll have winners in different regions, and maybe they'll have some kind of throwback tournament, I don't know, in the future. But as for an actual, proper Capcom Cup champion, I don't think it's possible at all. I mean, we do have these offline Street Fighter League tournaments on a smaller scale, but I think it's different for everyone depending on what country they live on. So I'm really interested to see what Capcom has in mind on how this is even going to work. I mean, at least we are going to get a tournament, and most importantly, guys, it looks like everything is still going according to schedule. They said the finals will still be taking place on February 20th or 21st, which means that the schedule of the Balance Patch slash Dan slash the new mechanic will all be rolling out after Capcom Cup Finals. Either way, which will most likely be dropping on February 21st, right after Grand Finals takes place. So that at least is a good thing. But it looks like in terms of our CPT and the esports side of Street Fighter 5, it looks like it's going to be par for the course in terms of these online tournaments for the rest of next year as well. I mean, it's not looking good for the tournament organizers and the logistical nightmare that you have to go through now, because the world is just simply not back up to what it was before. So we'll have to see how that goes out. I mean, it would be nice to get an online update on improving the netcode as always with the game, but like we just don't know what the future plans are besides the character roadmaps, right, on the game and how long they're planning to support this for. If it's longer, Capcom did state like once again that season 5 is the very last season. So I assume that Street Fighter 5 has one more year to go. So yeah, I guess they're still gonna stream it, guys. It's gonna be interesting. There's probably gonna be a lot of salt. I'm sure there'll be a lot of drama. Like I said, I feel bad for the competitors. I'm sure they're not pleased with this, and I wouldn't be surprised if some won't even attempt to even bother trying to compete with this, depending on how they're gonna do it. But I do feel like they should earn something since they've won their qualifying spot. I don't know what they can do, whether they can split some of the prize money maybe, or like I said, have their own individual regional online qualifiers and then win something there. But yeah, there's no other way I can think that they could pull this off. So that's pretty much the update, guys. Like I said, February 21st, we can probably expect around the last week of February or around then for the new patch to still roll out. And I'm going to assume that Capcom is going to give us some more Dan information soon here, and hopefully a gameplay test. So hang in there, guys, and I'll keep you guys posted. All right, stay safe, everyone. Have a good night.